The number one reason that real estate agents and investors fail is a blind spot they don't even realize that they have. They call themselves sales professionals, but they have no idea how to do sales and how to transact real estate the right way. You might be spending money on systems, fancy tools, AI tech, and all kinds of different training. But in this video, I'm going to give you the $25,000 sales process. People have paid us up to $25,000 for, and I have coined it the $1 million real estate sales process and framework. If you haven't already, go back and watch the $1 million marketing blueprint. But in this video, we're going to spend the next 12 to 15 minutes giving you completely for free the sales process that we've implemented with hundreds of our clients to help them close millions of dollars and hundreds of real estate deals. So without further ado, let's get right into the video, diving into the $1 million real estate sales process. And this is going to be a drawing video. So if you're new to my page here, quite often I do drawing videos. So I will I'll open my screen like this and I'll have just a pen and paper. It's how I think, it's how I process. And I think it's incredibly valuable to learn this way. So the first thing and the biggest thing, you guys, is you forget when you're getting into real estate, you're getting leads, you're working leads, you're trying to create more listings, you're trying to create more investment deals, what it is, who it is that you're working with, right? What I mean by that is a lot of us, we get sociopathic in our tendencies and we forget that everything in real estate sales is a relationship. And this is blurry, but it will clear up like it just did right there. So everything in real estate, you guys, is a relationship. And excuse my crappy handwriting. But what I mean by that is a lot of you guys, you're starting to sell and you're using hard car salesman tactics. But you're forgetting that, what are we at the end of the day? We are solution providers. We are not hardcore car salesmen. We are solution providers. And the question I get and I ask myself is, how would I want my grandma treated? And I call that the grandma framework. How would I want my grandma treated if someone was calling my grandma to buy her house? Right? We are solution providers. We are not calling to lie and manipulate to sellers. We are calling to be solution providers. And I'll tell you, the best closer I ever knew was a business partner for a while. And his name's Elliot Smith. You guys can look him up. He's incredibly talented. And he was the best closer I ever knew with sellers because all he focused on is the relationship and caring. So you want to care personally and then provide a solution. So start by caring personally and then you add a solution. And a solution is not a cash offer or listing their home. A solution is, can you help them with a moving company? Can you pay their first month rent at their next place? Can you get them a lease back, right? What solution do they need? And solutions typically fall into 4 pillars of motivation, which is condition, timeline, price, and motivation. And your whole job throughout the process as you build a personal relationship is to build rapport and ask leading questions around these 4 topics. And people ask me all the time, oh, but what about these objections? But the reality is, you guys, objections also all lead back to these 4 items in real estate sales. Okay. Hey, Cole, you called me. Pay me $1 million or F off. Hey, Mr. Seller, I'd love to pay you as much as I possibly can. Before I do that, can you explain to me what is at the end of the road for you here? Let's say I did give you a magical number and now I'm hitting motivation. If I gave you a magical number and you agreed to sell your house, where are you going? What are you doing next with that money? Then you use that objection and you get back into 4 pillars. So use objections. That's one of the biggest things I can tell you guys, part of the $1 million sales blueprint, is use objections to reframe the 4 pillars. So as you build rapport, as you focus on the grandma framework, as you treat people right, be ethical, you want to use all their objections to go back to these 4. A condition motivation, right? You want to ask leading questions such as, hey, if I gave you a $50,000 gift card to Home Depot, what would you do with that? And so now, instead of asking someone who has no idea anything about real estate, hey, what is your house worth? Now you're asking them what they would spend their money on. So this is the Home Depot framework. Right? Timeline. If, hey, in a dream world, if we came to agreement on price, when are you moving? Right? Hey, do you already have a price in mind? And that's the next thing I'm going to talk about, guys. If they won't give you their price is the last thing you should talk about. Okay. So far, where are we at about 5 minutes into this $1 million sales process? We have two great frameworks to use, right? We have our leading question framework. An example of that is the Home Depot question for condition. We have the relationship framework of treating everyone like your grandma and focusing on providing solutions, moving companies, lease backs, trash out, paying their first month rent, whatever it may be. We're asking leading questions as we build rapport to understand their true motivation. And we're always pointing objections back to a pillar of the big four because they're usually tied together. An objection is usually them not realizing what their true motivation, timeline, condition, or price is. Okay, so always point objections back to the big four. And then price should be the last thing. The second thing is timing, right? Real estate sales, some of our best clients, one of them, for example, Jeff Moe, has been a client of ours for years. He always says, hey, I expect to get paid about a year after a lead comes into my system. And so if you can operate in a mind state of you're going to follow up for 365 days, no matter what, you will make more money. If you play on this timeline, a 365-day follow-up timeline, you will win. The agents and investors that play in a longer-term timeline with their pipeline, they win. And the reality is we get paid so well, 30, 40, 50 grand. And if I told you, hey, say your name's Steve. Hey, Steve, if you called a seller every day for 5 months and you didn't get paid till that 5th month, but the check was 30 grand, would you do it? You would all say yes, right? Whether you believe it or not, we all fall under the bucket of once we can frame something that way, we do. And so the third framework I want you to use is, call it the longevity frame, which is if I guaranteed you $50,000 to follow up with a seller for a year, you would do it. And that's how you have to treat every single person in your pipeline. The people that do that, they make a lot of money in real estate, let me tell you. So timing. Once you understand these initial frameworks, you have to play on a 365-day timeline to get this right. Otherwise, what are you doing? This is not a short-term game. This is a long-term marathon. Get sellers into your pipeline and nurture them. The next thing I'm going to hit on, you guys, part of this framework is who you're working with, right? We call them the 4 avatar of sellers. And my business partner for a long time and great salesperson, Mike, he came up with this, or at least I think he came up with it, or he copied it from someone else. Either way, very valuable how he used to teach our sales team on this. And there's 4 avatars of sellers. You have red, purple, green, and blue. You can rename the colors, but you want to get used to discerning who you're working with. A red seller is going to be a very standoffish. We call them engineer brains. They don't want to build rapport. All they care about is price, price, price. You then have the green sellers, very open, outgoing, extroverted. That might be a grandma that talks your ear out for 4 hours but doesn't want to sell. You then have yellow, very shy. Even if they're very motivated, you have to peel the layers back, conversation by conversation, over a year or sometimes longer. And the stats are, if you get a lead into your system, you have a 40% chance in the next 36 months of them transacting real estate. That is a stat we've taken from a lot of clients in our CRM, over 10,000 leads. So 4 avatars of sellers. The last one is purple or impulsive. And impulsive is someone that is going to maybe be a one-call close. Like they decided today they're going to sell, and that's what's going to happen. So you damn sure better be ready. So the 4 avatars of sellers: purple, red, green, yellow. So move this up a little bit. We have purple, right? That's I for impulsive. We have red, that's E for engineer. We have green, that's we'll do T for talkative or extroverted. And we have yellow, that's S for shy. So that's a great framework to help you understand who you're talking with. And one of the most important parts of sales, you guys, is putting this all together. And the way you do that, it's call reviews, it's training, it's reps, right? Most of sales in this business is time in the seat. That is hilarious. I actually did not mean to come up with the acronym TITS, but I guess the acronym we're going to use is TITS. Time in the seat. Time in the seat. You can't learn that in a seminar. You don't learn to ride a bike in a seminar, right? You can watch videos like this. You can have all the leads in the world. TITS, or time in the seat, is what will dramatically change your business, yourself, your confidence, your skills. That is how you get the core components, okay? The last thing we're going to do, you guys, in this video, now that you understand, again, what we've covered so far, at the top, you become a solution provider. You treat everyone like your grandma. You care personally, and you offer solutions around their needs. You ask leading questions towards the big four, and you point objections back towards the big four, and you always are building rapport, getting to know them. Price, you talk about that last, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. Timing, you play on a long timeline. You understand the different types of avatars and how to deal with them all. And you understand that if you treat every lead like your only lead over a longer time horizon, the longevity frame, you will win. And then tits, a lot of this is time in the seat. Last but not least, let's talk through the actual tangible part of the sales process in this business, okay? And the tangible part of the sales process in this business is how do we actually have our calls? And there's a couple of things I want you to focus on when you're actually having your calls. I want you to focus on a hook. I want you to focus on a frame. I want you to focus on discovery. I want you to focus on a bridge. I want you to focus on an offer. And then I want you to focus on a close and then a cool off. So a lot of steps here, you guys, but this is the actual now tangible sales process. Now that you get the frameworks, now we talk about the tangible sales process, okay? And this doesn't all happen at once. Remember, we're playing on a long time horizon. This might happen over a year or two, sometimes longer. The year where we were doing 10, 15 deals a month, 33% would come from leads from that month, 33% from the last 6 months, 33% from the last year or longer, okay? So the hook is get their attention. Why should they spend time on the phone with you to let you come to their house? This doesn't need to be fancy. This can be, hey, we offer the same spiel. We're a real estate investment company. You don't have to deal with agent fees. Or if you do, we're also a listing business. We also do on-market transactions. But get their attention, right? You only have a couple seconds to get their attention. Frame is, why should they trust you? Right? The biggest thing here is create a differential. What makes you different? Why should they trust you instead of the other 30 postcards or phone calls they've gotten? And excuse my handwriting again, but a differential is something like, hey, we're not like other companies. When we give you an offer, we release earnest money right away. We don't have inspection periods. That's just an example. But the better you get, the more of a frame you can create of why should they trust you. But you can send them a credibility packet via email with seller testimonials. You can point them to your website, but do something here to help them build trust with you. Discovery is when you go through everything we just talked about. So the 4 pillars, and you are trying to understand how and what service to provide. Right? You're in question mode. The bridge is now that you have the information that you need, how do you bridge them to think logically? That's the biggest thing, because people that are going to sell to you off market or that need to list their home a lot of times are going through some kind of emotional, situational, psychological distress. So how do we bridge them to a logical scenario where we can talk about an offer? I'm big on price anchoring and doing geographic price anchoring. So, hey, Bob, there's a home 3 doors down that sold 2 months ago for this price. Based on the condition that you told me, your home's in worse condition. Does it make sense to you that if your home's in worse condition, they sold for $550, you would be less than $550? Oh yeah, cool, that makes sense. So you start having them think about money logically. The second thing you can do is detach purchase price from their wallet, And you do that by saying, hey, what do you owe on the house and what do you want to walk away with? They say, oh, if in your dream world, I walk away with $100,000, great. Well, Bob, you only need to be at this range to walk away with $100,000. That's when you start getting into the offer. Okay, the offer, you should price anchor. You should use a bridge to have them start thinking logically. And then when you finally make them an offer, everything about this phase is pre-commitment. Hey, Bob, if we make you an offer, we show up to your house with an agreement, we're setting internal time, energy, resources aside. The reality is if we do that and then you tell us yes and then you say no when we get there, you put us in a bad spot because now we're telling other sellers no because we're prioritizing your deal. So if we come out there and we bring a contract, are you going to be able to commit to us that you can transact with us, yes or no? Right? So you're getting a pre-commitment. And then close. Right? Closing, there's 2 rules here. No appraisals and no pressure closes. Okay. So no appraisals means if you go on an appointment with a contract or your listing agent with a listing agreement, don't leave that at their house. And if you send them a DocuSign, make sure you're on the phone with them while they sign that DocuSign, or you void it. And if you bring it to their house, it leaves with you if they do not sign it, because we are not an appraisal business. We are not an appraisal business. And then no pressure closes. Don't use slimy sales tactics. Hey, you have to do this now. Hey, you should do this. You do not pressure them into the sale. It's a big sale. Yeah, be their friend, be a service provider, build rapport, know what pain points to hit, but do not be a pressure closer in this business. And then cool off. After they sign a contract, it should be a celebration. so they don't regret and go talk to their friend that's an agent. On average, everyone knows 7 real estate agents. So do what you can to avoid someone developing seller's remorse. If you guys are growing a real estate business and you haven't watched my video yet, a $1 million marketing blueprint, go pair the $1 million marketing blueprint up with this video, the $1 million sales process, and it will change your business and your life forever if you're an agent or investor or even doing commercial deals. Down below this video, you guys, you can join the free school community and access trainings like this, weekly live calls, and a bunch more. And if you're ready for us to start sending you leads and helping you implement this with one-on-one development and integration coaching, click the lead below to easybuttonleads.com where our team can help you do that. And if you need anything else at all, comment below, reach out to me on Instagram. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel here so I can continue to make amazing videos like this for you every single week. And until next time, just remember, you're only one deal away.